from TPC Twin Cities in Minnesota. Although world number one Scotty Scheffler is not playing, plenty of fan favorites like Ricky Fowler, Adam Scott, Max Homa, and Tony Finau will make the start. It's 88 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dahl, and Tom McManus. This is
Helmets and Heels.
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
Training camp practice 1 is in the books. I don't know what you two are doing.
Already laughing.
You're giggling right as I'm about to welcome everybody in. But you know what? That's what we do around here.
That's
we
right.
have an absolute blast, just
No
like
doubt.
we did at practice earlier. And speaking of a blast, thank you to Fan Cam. I know every single person, every fan who went by had an absolute blast hanging out with him. That's right, RJ. Round of applause. John does a great job. And we got to try the stir-fry filet mignon.
Yep.
And then, of course, the chili was plentiful.
The chili was, I think that's the best chili I've ever had in my life. I mean, it's like unbelievable. And it wasn't too spicy. You know, it had a nice kick to it.
He has to
but
make
it wasn't
for the
like,
masses.
you know, we're just going to, crush you. It had so much meat in it, which I love. You know,
Yeah,
I'm more meat than beans. You know what I mean?
Same.
If it's
Don't
chili
some people
time.
think that chili doesn't have beans, like it shouldn't have beans?
Yeah, that's like a Cincinnati. The Skyline
Right.
chili doesn't have beans. It's just meat.
It's just meat. Well, then to me, that's just like a meat sauce.
Meat, it is. It's the meat sauce, but I'm
Whatever.
fine with that. I'll eat it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But it was tasty. Thanks, John. You're the man. You and your boys out there. They work hard today. So John and his wife work out at Planet Fitness where I work out. So Karen was in there yesterday. She's like, I'm staying out of the house today. He's going crazy. He's got all this cooking going on, all this stuff. I was just laughing. It was pretty funny, but it was great. So
Love it.
thanks, John. That was his 30th year, man. He's been doing that for a
tradition
long
like
time.
no other. I love
That's
it.
right.
And even I saw the Jaguars social media went ahead and posted a video of it.
Nice.
So, yeah,
Nice,
everybody can
yeah.
check that out and see what we got to enjoy today.
Yeah.
We found out moments after the show yesterday that Mason Smith,
Yep.
one of the year 2 or 3 guys that I said is going to take a big leap and is going
Yeah.
to make a massive impact for this team, we found out that he was moved to the active PUP list, physically unable to perform, which means he can come back anytime before training camp. But I think that immediately sent up a little bit of a red flag to all of us because with Dennis Gardeck, we knew that he had suffered an ACL injury in
Yeah.
October, so it could have taken him a little while longer to rehab. Mason Smith, to most of our knowledge, had absolutely no injuries. We found out after practice that it's hopefully nothing serious.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, it's disappointing that it's happened, but they're going to take precautions, I guess, whatever it may be, and hopefully he can come back sooner than later. You know, when it happens that close to camp, there's only a few things that it can be, right? I mean, it's something that happened with his personal life,
yeah.
which I know it's not the same on the field kind of stuff, or it's something else, you know, that there's only so many things that can have maybe out of shape, maybe didn't pass the conditioning test. I wouldn't say he was out of shape during the offseason. I saw him get winded a few times, but it wasn't like he was out of shape. But that's what happens. Or there's a small injury, or you feel a twinge, or whatever it may be, and then they take precautions. It's okay. Listen, I want him back out there. It's funny, we were joking how yesterday we were talking about our players and Armstead's on the sideline hanging out. You know, he's not doing that much. And then of course your guy Mason, and
Come
then
on, man.
Mr. Tyson over here. He's
Little
doing
shorty
some
shorts.
underwear modeling or something. I don't know what the heck
Just wants
he
to
had
show
going
off his
on.
legs.
Yeah,
That's
He was
all
out on
right.
the field.
Yeah, he knew the fans were going to be there. He's like, hey, check these out, man. So, yeah, it's just a shame, but whatever. They'll be okay. And look, it gives other guys opportunities. Jordan Jefferson, man, if I'm you, I'm like, all right, I got to show something. I got to make my move here because you saw Lacey out there, you saw D-Ham out there, you saw other guys out there. Yeah. And look, I know from experience when somebody's not out there for whatever reason, it's your time to do something. You got to do something, even if it's just one play. Get an extra play because of that absence. You got to make a play. You got to do something that stands out.
That's what I was about to say. It's the prime time for some of these other guys to kind of see what they can do and use this to their advantage. And I know anytime you hear somebody getting put on any sort of unable to perform list, injury list, anything like that, there's a sense of panic immediately. It doesn't feel like once you hear the coaches talk about it that it should be, but it's a part of it. When you hear injury or anybody not being able to be out there to practice, there's a little bit of concern. I think especially with the way that last year started with Mason Smith too.
Yeah.
Obviously not being out there a lot, and we know the conditioning side, it was kind of some of that early. From what it seems like now, it's not that that's not that side of things. So I heard Mike Dempsey talk about it. He asked questions around, and they said it wasn't in that world of not being conditioned. So I it's always a little bit of, oh no, what happened? But I do think sometimes you got to take a step
Liam,
back.
but for the record, Liam said nothing but great things about Mason Smith, about his offseason. Like, everything we wanted, he's done. So who knows what happened? Could have been when he was at home working out or something. You never know. Could be in the gym, could be running, could be anything going on. But he'll be back out there, man. They're really high on him. They're expecting big things out of Mason Smith. As
Making
of course
ravioli.
we are.
Yeah.
Is that what Schefter did?
Yeah, making ravioli with using a wine glass, and it was a stemmed wine glass. So that's the part that broke. My guess is, Tom, if it was something off the field, he would be put on the non-football injury list. So to me, I do think that just in preparation for the season and training camp, something happened. But here's the head coach after practice with an update on Mason Smith.
Yeah, I don't think extremely long. It's not a major issue. It's a little bit more precautionary. Just tweaked it kind of the week of camp. So nothing. He had a great off season. He worked his tail off. He was here a ton. Was in great shape. Worked his tail off. So it was a little bit of a bummer, obviously, but it's a little bit more precautionary. Could he go and play in a game in this week? Who knows? But it won't be too long.
Which that is good to hear.
Okay.
And I think if the head coach says worked his tail off twice in one answer, because Liam's not one to repeat himself, I do think that means like he's trying to tell everyone that this was just something in training and some sort of a workout that and if it was major, he also would have told us that, but he kept the injury undisclosed.
I will say him saying if there was a game, I don't know, is a little more to the worrisome side, just because most guys would say if this was a game time, then he'd be a go.
Right.
Well, I think he wants to hedge his bets in a sense, Taylor, because if he were to come out and say that, and if Mason Smith doesn't return in the next 2 weeks or so, then people are going to say, well, you said if it was a game he could have played. And so I think literally as he was saying it, he's like,
maybe they really don't know.
And certainly, like you said, it's precautionary. I don't think anyone should worry.
They know, and they may not want to disclose it, and they have every right not to disclose it. I don't care. Yeah. I thought it was like a failed conditioning test. I really did. Like maybe just the last 5 weeks he was sitting around hanging out and
fun.
not doing that much. You know what I mean? But that clearly wasn't the case. Yeah. So listen, they'll figure it out, and he'll be out there. I think he was out there. I saw him kind of. I didn't see him working out at all, but I saw him on the sideline. Watching and learning and all that. So that listen, if it was something serious, he wouldn't even be out there. You know what I mean? He'd be inside rehabbing or doing something else. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, watching today, of course, all eyes go to Trevor Lawrence. How does he look in this offense? We've seen him through OTAs. We've seen him through mandatory minicamp. And then he was but just grasping everything. Mm-hmm. I think now he's really starting to take command with the offense. And Liam Cohen certainly talked about that too, how he has put a lot of work into it. And that to me is of course, that's what we're going to watch every single practice. If you go to the Lions practice, or if you go to a Bucks practice, or if you go to Chiefs or Ravens, you might look at things other than the quarterback because you fully and totally trust the quarterback. But here, we want to see in this new offense what Trevor looks like. To me, I thought it was a pretty clean day. I thought there were maybe 3 or 4 drops and less missed throws. And certainly Trevor didn't throw any interceptions. Again, it's just day one. But that, to me, was a good thing.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I saw a few. Yeah, we saw a few drops. I saw a couple go over heads, but nothing that was like, oh, that was a terrible throw from Trevor. So that's good, because that's clearly going to be one of the things that a lot of people have their eyes on this offseason, and just more so the timing of everything. And we've talked so much about how much the timing was an issue last year especially, but in Trevor's career in general, when things are off, that timing feels like what is causing a lot of it. And so that's something we're going to be keeping an eye on. And he said today, too, when he talked, that this is the most difficult offense that he's had to learn. So in addition now to a lot of new pieces on the offense, in addition to new mechanics that are being formed, and now you also have a more difficult playbook and scheme that you're learning too. So that kind of points to why maybe there was that lag in OTAs. It felt like it felt like the defense was a lot ahead of the offense, and that all makes sense now.
Yeah, listen, I thought, look, it's day one. They're out there, look, 7-on-7, 11-on-11. It's real, on-air football. He made some good throws. He didn't make any bad throws. I mean, look, the one play that he made that was great was when he escaped pressure to his right and threw it right on the money, and the receiver didn't catch it. But Liam actually went over to him and gave him a 5. Like, hey, man, that's what I'm talking about. So he must have had a right read, the right way to get out, and where to throw it.
I think that was De'Ami Brown. If I'm
yeah, was it De'Ami Brown? And then he went deep to De'Ami, and that was a beautiful throw. And look, Wingard made a great play. Granted, look, for the record, the refs are there. I thought he bumped him. I was surprised he didn't throw the flag. He didn't bump him a ton, but it was just a little bump when they both went for the ball. It was a little bit out of reach, but it was a beautiful thrown ball. It could have easily been completed. Hats off to Andrew Wingard for once again making he makes plays. That guy, that's what he seems to do. But yeah, I thought Trevor was fine, and I agree on the command. The decision making was quick. The ball came out quick. He put it in the right spot for the most part. Even when they were just running routes, because I do like watching. I watch the other quarterbacks, but I'm mainly watching him. And watching the receivers and the routes and the timing and when he's throwing it, and is he throwing it before the break? Where is he placing it? That kind of stuff. And he looked fine today, man. He looked pretty good overall.
I think to this point, and what you're looking for is the timing, right? And Trevor talked about this after practice too. Working out with his guys in the Bahamas and then at Episcopal High School, like we talked about in that Travis Hunter YouTube video. With this offense, the timing is so critically important that every single second that they spend working on passing and catching the two of them and then them as a whole, that's going to matter when it comes to week 1, when the bullets are flying and the defensive ends are pressuring him. So if they can get it to where it's an exact science, where they are absolutely 100% together and those routes are crisply run and Trevor knows exactly where he's supposed to put the ball, that can literally mean winning games, Taylor. Yeah. Like this team, as we know, we've talked about it all offseason, how many close games they lost. That is something that can literally take them from being down 21 to 20 and then winning the football game.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that takes reps, and in-game reps help that. And so we will see how much in camp you're getting out of that timing. And I know working together in general, everything is helping when it comes to the cohesiveness between your quarterback and pass catchers. But I do think that was a benefit. Like Baker already had time with his receivers the year before, and then Liam Cohen got to take over and kind of perfect all those things, and the timing really got to be emphasis. There's so many things to focus on right now, too. And so it's a lot of information that's being taken in by the offense as a whole. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see those ups and downs through this camp of days when it feels like the offense maybe the timing's not there, or that it's a little behind. I think that's okay, because the moment that one of those things aren't on time or doesn't look the way that Liam Cohen wants it, that's when he corrects it. And then come week 1, you feel more comfortable in your offense. Well,
listen, most offenses are predicated on timing, passing offenses. When you're first reading, you're going to get it out quick. That's even more so. So we're going to see a lot of that. But the timing is that Trevor believing where his receiver's going to be and throwing it before that they make the break. So the timing is they break and here's the ball. It's not they break, I'm running, and then the ball comes. Because then you either run out of bounds or somebody gets in the way or that kind of thing. So the timing is, and it's right, you're right, they worked on it in the offseason. It's very important. Now, listen, it's on air, so it's different. Yeah. Nobody's defending them. It's not like they're having to get off press coverage or anything like that, so that'll change. And there's no line. But as far as timing, as far as the being on the same page together, you could see some of that today for sure. And it's just, look, I think one of Trevor's things in the past is he would wait till they break, and not believing that, okay, I'm going to throw it to this spot and they're going to be there because I'm confident in them being there. And there just wasn't a whole lot of that, I don't think.
I blame Calvin Ridley for that, truth be told, for a lot of that, of the receiver not being where he's supposed to be.
Oh, jeez.
And I know he wasn't being
across the board, it seemed, that year anyway.
All right, Trevor post-practice was asked about how much it helps to work out with these guys outside of the building, and here he is.
Shows up a lot. There was some stuff in the spring where, I was just coming off injury, just getting back in the flow of throwing and really doing a bunch of field work. I just started that once we started OTAs, and addition to a lot of new receivers and getting some timing, and even with BT we only got half a season together, so even some things there I wanted to polish up, and we were able to get a lot of work in this offseason, whether it was in the Bahamas or here, guys being in town to work out. Guys did a great job of being around, being available, and that stuff carries over. So when you start camp, there's a couple throws today that were some timing throws that I felt like we were on point that you wouldn't get if you didn't get the reps in the offseason, just because they're hard. You got to know, you got to throw it before the guys break. They got to trust you're going to put it in the right spot, and you got to have that time.
So
For
there
the
you have
record,
it.
I did not hear that sound before this show. I'm just saying.
Sure, Tom.
But no, you listen, even the throw to Brown deep, that was on time. As opposed to, I'll take it back to the Houston game before he got hurt. He got picked off by Stingley because he threw it late. Not because he couldn't get it there. He threw it late. There's a lot of, it's predicted on that timing. So, yeah, I think the timing looks pretty good so far.
And it is important. He went through that shoulder surgery. So all of these reps since then, since he's been able to throw again, he's getting back into the groove. And so certainly we will continue to keep an eye on Trevor Lawrence and the offense throughout training camp. More on training camp when we return. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I'm Logan Cook from the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So Logan Cook will kick it away. And they're going to throw it to Walker. And it's going to be a first down.
On 1010XL.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, you're likely to make the wrong decision. Let our team help you make the right decisions in court. Epstein & Robbins, the right choice.
Epstein & Robbins. Fighting for your rights since 1975.
It's Helmets and Heels, Kingfish Pest Control Wednesday.
This is Mark Nato. My sons and I have seen the doctors and PAs at Southeast Ortho for everything from lumbar spine stress to elbow tendonitis. Southeast has always been there, been truthful, and always been on point. Everything they say happens. We can't thank them enough for what they've done and the great care that they have taken of our sons.
Get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hey, Hicken here. Tired of glasses or contacts? Discover customized vision solutions at Bowden Eye & Associates. Dr. Bowden's team offers cutting-edge options like Evo implantable Collamer lenses or refractive lens exchange and classic LASIK, designed to fit your life. Picture perfect vision for reading, driving, or just enjoying the day. It's easier than you think. Call now for your free screening. Bowden Eye & Associates, they're keeping the First Coast focused.
The best game day parking in all of Duval is at Tailgaters Parking. Are you ready for some football? Tailgaters is just steps away on the east side of the stadium. Visit tailgatorsparking.com and secure your season parking pass today.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. If you have a school, team, or group that would benefit from a team store, you're in luck because we now offer team stores. Check us out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
1010XL's running game takes a giant step forward.
Well, Fred Taylor is the whole package.
Fred Taylor joins Dan and Jeff on the drill. Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein & Robbins and Monahan Jewelers.
Need or want cash? Beach's Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all, selling or pawning. Get cash on the spot at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
The 2025 NFL season is just around the corner, and we can't wait for you to be back at the bank. Your Jacksonville Jaguars are starting off the preseason going head-to-head with the Pittsburgh Steelers Saturday, August 9th. Be at the bank as the Jags take the field for the first time this season and grab your tickets for a 7 p.m. kickoff by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you soon, Jags fans.
Frank Frangie here to tell you about the coolest new thing, a putting green in my backyard that my friends at Sunshine Turf installed. Sunshine Turf can do the same for you. They'll come to your house, they'll create a custom design for your space, and you'll have an authentic golf course experience right in your own backyard. I freaking love it. Sunshine Turf is family owned and they made the process so simple. So visit sunshineturf.info or call them at 904-383-0243 and get a free quote today for your own putting green. Get it from Sunshine Turf.
It's a battle for the playoffs as your Sharks take the field this Saturday. Kickoff at 7. Tickets start at just $15. Discover the thrill of indoor football. It's fast-paced, action-packed, and full of family fun. Try the new 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 food vouchers, and a $20 gift card. All for only $100. Get tickets at jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700. 904-621-0700.
Prosser here. Ask about the Sharks 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 food vouchers, and a $20 gift card, all for only $100. It's Military Appreciation Night, presented by True Vet Solutions. All current and former military can purchase a special buy one, get one free ticket deal. Join us on the field after the game for a jersey auction, an autograph session, sponsored by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectible. Tickets start at just $15. Call 904-621-0700. That's 904-621-0700.
When it comes to towing products, your safety is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys Locksmith Service.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Tom McManus, Taylor Dahl, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. And right now, Tommy has takeaways for you.
That's right. Tommy's Takeaways brought to you by our friends at J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. So my takeaway from today is Bayashul Tootin. If he holds on to the football, he's going to be your starting running back. Let me tell you something. This kid made 2 cuts today. Granted, they're not in pads. But it was during team. He made a cut inside that shook somebody, and he had a big opening, and he showed his speed and explosion, and then he had later a cut outside. It was very natural. He sees the field really well. And I'm telling you, right. And by the way, when he's running, he's got 2 hands on the football.
Sure
he's
he
making
does.
sure that he's got it. But it was only one day, so I'm not getting too carried away. But to me, Bayashul Tootin really stood out today. And that's my takeaway, brought to you by our friends at J-Dog Junk Removal and Holland.
Yeah, Bayshul walked by us with the 3 of us were standing together watching practice, and Tom just like elbowed me, and I'm looking around like,
We
what
were
am I
all just
looking
like,
at? And then Bayshul walks by, and I'm like, oh, I see what he's pointing out. And that kid has certainly, he may have had
Looks
the
like he
fumbling.
run some people over.
Yeah, he
for
may have had the
sure.
fumbling issue in college, but he does not have a strength issue.
Definitely not.
From that lower body. Look, I've been excited about Bayshul Tootin since they drafted him with that speed. I do think that there is a true competition at running back.
Oh, yeah.
I do.
Without a doubt.
Even though I thought it was like maybe Tank Bigsby's kind of edged or penciled in as kind of the first running back, and then maybe it's a battle between ETN and Bayshul Tootin. No, I really truly think it's a 3-way competition. And to your point all along, Tom, too, Ken Allen Jr. will also see the field.
Yeah, it looks like it. He looks good coming out of the backfield. Look, again, they're not in pads, so it was tough for him to, shake through. It seemed like Tank choked through a couple times, found a little seam. Like I said, Tootin did as well, but he looks good coming out of the backfield. He's fast. He's a fast guy, and he can catch the ball pretty well, too. So I think he'll have a shot for sure.
Yeah, I think that conversation or, I guess, decision for Liam Cohen, like we said, it's one day in, so there's a lot more camp for us to see things and what goes on. But I think it's going to shake out to being some of those smaller things. And, Tommy, you've talked about it, the pass blocking and things like that, because they're going to want the best back out there, the majority. And so if you have 4 or 3 that are really good at the running back side of things, you're going to have to start looking at some of those other factors to decide who's won. And the blocking and the pass catching, I think, are going to be 2 of the things that you'll want to see out of them.
Listen, we know all offseason, ever since Liam and company got here, it was the number one thing is to protect Trevor Lawrence. Get Trevor the weapons, get him protected, get him comfortable, get him feeling good, get him everything so he can be right and move forward and have a great year. You got to have a back that can consistently pick up that blitzer. And those ETN and Bigsby, you can't say that they have done that in the past consistently. On occasion they have. I think ETN better than Tank, but overall, I don't know if I trust those guys every single time a blitzer's coming through to protect my quarterback.
Yeah, 1A is protect Trevor for sure. I feel like 1B is going to be protect the football.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, well, they're kind of
no matter who the ball carrier is.
Yeah, protect.
Exactly. That is our new motto here in Jacksonville. All right, we talked about Trevor Lawrence in the last segment. Just talked about Bashal Tootin. Let's talk about Travis Hunter. He was in teal today, so that means he played only wide receiver. Here's Liam Cohen on what the plan will be for Hunter as far as wide receiver versus DB in camp.
Or so, like we'll probably have him, you want to give him a couple days and then give him an opportunity to go flip-flop within the same practice and become the norm, right? Like once we do that, that'll kind of become the norm and how we operate, but it'll probably be within the first week or so.
So obviously flip-flop means he'll start the practice at either receiver or DB and then flip in the practice to the other. We only saw that one time in the off-season workouts.
Yeah, I would imagine when they go 11 on 11, that's when you can do it. I'll tell you what he did today. He outran the angle and he did it so smooth. It was right near us, right down the sideline. I forget who tried to have the angle on it, but it was an out pattern. He caught it. You thought the defender thought he was going to get him, and he turned up a little bit, man, and he outran that guy, no problem. So he should be fun to watch with the ball in his hands.
They're putting a lot on his plate, obviously.
Yeah.
But
I mean, he said he can do it, so they're saying, okay, show us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Travis Hunter, we know he's not going to run out of energy. That's not going to be the problem. And Liam Cohen also talked about the fact, Taylor, that in the offseason workouts, they had him at receiver for multiple days in a row.
Yeah.
And then they'd put him at corner, and they didn't like how he ended up, not being around the DBs and especially the coaches for multiple days in a row because of the language and the verbiage that they use. So that's why they want him to be on both sides of the ball, even early in camp. So I'm excited. Maybe before the pads go on Monday.
Yeah, that's one of the things I said very early that I'm intrigued on how they're going to do it. Just because you can't go gaps of time with him not playing the other, because then you're going to have that disconnect of maybe the playbook or even the players, like everybody that communication between him and the other defensive backs, him and Trevor. You don't want, if you're not with somebody for too long, you hear about that when someone does miss time with an injury, how it takes time to kind of get back into the flow of everything. And so you can't have long periods of time where he's on offense one week and then defense the next week. And also, if you're expecting him to do that in game time week one, then you're going to have to get him conditioned for that, but also just in the headspace to be able to do it.
Yeah, and that's what I think when they get to that point, that 11 on 11, he'll do 3 or 4 or 5 reps at wide out and immediately turn around and they'll put a cap on his head, and now he's a DB, and because he's going to have to do that, or they think we think that's what he's going to do in a game. Listen, when you're out there during practice, you'll get like 3 reps, and then first team will get 3 or 4, then they're off. Then second team goes, then third team goes, then some substitutions, then first team goes. So it's not like you're on a 9-play drive and you're conditioned for that. And by the way, I was surprised they didn't condition. I don't know maybe they condition inside. They could get on the treadmills or whatnot, but man, I think it's so important to condition. I don't care what era we're talking about, but maybe they do it after practice.
It will be really interesting, too, when it comes down to that, because we've heard a lot about the third downs, red zone. That's when they'll want him out there on defense, certain situational stuff like that. So practice-wise, because I'm sure Liam Cohen wants him on third downs or, in the red zone plays during that. So how much they really balance the two, because you want to see him in those situational moments, but you also want him to be a part of your offense.
For sure. I got there early today, earlier than I normally do, and Travis Hunter was one of the first players out. And it was like, okay, this is a rookie who is already, and it was mostly special teams and Travis Hunter. And it was like, okay, this guy we know he's going to take it seriously. We know he's a smart guy too. But this commitment is what the other players want to see, especially the veterans, because he really is one of the only rookies that we're going to see, I think, take first team reps early on in this training camp. Yeah. And then it's also good to see Liam Cohen, to your point earlier, Tom, as soon as a play is over, when the ones come off the field, go with the iPad and go talk to Brian Thomas Jr. and De'Ami Brown and show them more of exactly what he wants, or see Trevor Lawrence come off the field and talk to his guys and walk through exactly what they want. That's what this time of year is for. And look, they're not going to necessarily have the most physical camp of all time. That can't happen anymore. Yeah. So let's figure out all of the timing things, certainly offensively. And when the pads go on Monday, then we can start to talk way more about how this offensive line looks. Because for the here and now, honestly, I don't even want to talk about the offensive line yet because I can't tell anything.
Same.
Right. I know Fred Johnson had a false start in a sack. I know that, but again, it was not bad. But listen, and then we'll only find out to a certain degree degree still because they're going against their own guys, you know, and you don't want anybody getting hurt or anything like that. So it won't be full, but it better be pretty close to full because that's how you're going to figure out who your O-line is. And granted, you could, and one thing I don't know, and I don't know who, maybe people do out there, but how many, what's Liam's philosophy and how many, quarters are my starters going to play in the first preseason? Am I going to leave my old line out there after halftime and get them to work through, after halftime, come out, work through the third quarter? How much are they going to play? Because you got to eventually, you don't want to roll into the regular season like, well, I hope this is the right five. You know what I mean? Or I'm educated
they took 12
guessing
snaps
here.
together in 3 weeks.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can only do so much, like you said. But that's going to be, again, it's for every team. You got to win the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
The team that wins the line of scrimmage, or for the most part of the game, they typically win the ball game.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Liam that, but at the same time, I was like, it's just the day one of camp. There's lots of other things to ask him about for the here and now. We can get to the preseason a little farther down the road. All right, we've talked offense. Let's talk a little defense on the other side. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I wonder what this does. I should pull it. 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Are you ready to reclaim your backyard? Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, Surfside Pools is the trusted name for expert pool design. Family owned and operated, they offer pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools transform your backyard into the oasis that you crave. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, where luxury meets leisure.
License number CPC 044080.
Hey guys, Taylor Dahl here of Helmets and Heels. It's the little things like a peach milkshake on a warm day that makes summer sweet. And now you can head to your local Chick-fil-A and enjoy a favorite summer treat again. Hand spun the old-fashioned way, this refreshing milkshake features Chick-fil-A ice cream and peaches. It's the perfect cold treat to enjoy outside on a warm day or with friends and family after dinner. And it's here for just a limited time, so swing by your local Chick-fil-A and treat yourself today.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, call Sam, Harry, or Joe at AA Automotive on Richard Street. From oil changes to complex engine repairs, AA Automotive promises expert service and honest pricing from a local family biz. AA Automotive on Richard Street.
It's Helmets and Heels Kingfish Pest Control Wednesday. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Guys, want a golf course fairway quality lawn? TopDressing.com just landed in Jacksonville with the golf course secret for St. Augustine grass homeowners. A patented process that aerates and turns your turf into a fairway stunner. Serious golf course technology, but in your yard. Less water, tighter cuts, total neighborhood domination. No one else scores a perfect 10 lawn. Hit TopDressing.com now. You will own the block. Top dress your yard like the pros with TopDressing.com.
Whether your AC needs a quick fix, a full replacement, or just a little TLC, Duck Air Conditioning has got you covered with fast and honest service. Call 904-862-6769 to get your cool back or online at duckac.com.
Are you living with diabetic neuropathy? That pain and numbness in your hands or feet? What about chronic knee or shoulder pain? Maybe you've tried various treatments, but they've been ineffective. Now there's a solution. Dr. Ferdinand Formoso specializes in advanced pain management and offers breakthrough neuromodulation treatments for those conditions. His innovative treatments target the source of your pain, offering relief where medications may fall short. All procedures are performed outpatient with no hospitalization required. Just a chance for you to feel and live better. If you want to learn more, Dr. Formoso is hosting free informational classes where he'll explain the benefits of neuromodulation therapies and how they can help eliminate your pain. Spaces are limited, so call to reserve your spot now with offices on the South Side, West Side, and Jacksonville Beach. Relief is possible with Formoso spine and joint pain specialists.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On July 23rd, 1976, the Steelers defeated the College All-Stars in the storm-shortened Chicago Charities College All-Star Game, which would be the last of the series.
This is Jennifer Marion at Randy Marion Cadillac. Are you ready to drive away today in luxury? Then you should check out Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard in Jacksonville.
Discover our luxurious lineup with over 100 Cadillacs to choose from, including the stunning Cadillac IQ, Lyric, Optique, and Visti.
And here's something important. The $7,500 tax credit on EV vehicles will be gone in just 90 days.
That's right. Don't miss your chance to save while driving in style.
Visit us at Randy Marion Cadillac.
Plus tax tag title $9.99 admin fee and resist all on approved credit.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
Storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracting. Save 15% on roof replacements and repairs now through July 31st. And financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting. Protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years, and our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Tom McManus, RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks with you. One player on the defensive side that I think had the play of the day today, a guy out of NC State, Aiden White. He picked off Nick Mullins, and that was the only interception that I saw, so kudos to him.
Yeah, Nick didn't look very good.
I was like,
today.
are we concerned? Please stay healthy, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I don't know what it's first day. I'm not going to get too carried away by it, but he was off today. He didn't look like. His deep ball looked awful.
The deep ball was
but
not
a great play
good.
by Jay. That was a great play by
They fluttered in
man.
the air, those deep passes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think John Wolford almost has a better just throwing motion. So when I see him out there, I'm like, oh, maybe he can end up battling for that second spot.
I imagine they brought him in because Udinsky's from Minnesota. Is that the connection?
Nick Mullins, yes.
Yeah, Nick Mullins, right? Yeah,
that's the connection for sure.
It is funny because Trevor's just so tall that it makes Nick Mullins look short, but he's like 6'1", 6'2". But because Trevor's so tall, at first I was like, he's tiny. I'm like, never mind. Trevor's just very tall.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I thought Wingard had a good day.
Yeah, Dewey did good.
Devin Lloyd, at least he's just good against the run, man. He's always in hitting them. He doesn't hit them, but he can't hit them. But you're like, he'd be hitting them. For sure. I thought Buster Brown competed pretty well. Now, I know Travis got a catch on him, and Diami did, but he was right on him. It wasn't like they were, a lot of separation.
Yeah.
I thought he was pretty good. Saw Abdullah out there playing Sam. They must see, against the run, I saw him kind of, get his way in there. And, again, they're not in pads, but Lacey was out there. We saw that.
Yeah.
My guy Eric is like, hey, man, I'm pulling the veteran card. I'll do the individual drills, but I'm just going to hang out on the sideline today.
Tyler's probably like, great.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the deal. Like, yeah, man, you got to take advantage of it. But
there were a couple uh-ohs defensive line wise when it comes to penalties, which you want to see those get obviously shaken out pretty early too.
Yeah, I didn't know who was the offsides.
One of them was Josh Hines Allen for sure. Yeah, but it happened twice back to back.
It did.
Yeah.
Now listen, the coach when they watch it on film may get all over him, but I didn't hear anybody even just yell like "stay onside." Like, so they got to clean that up. You know what I mean? And listen, watching Liam coach, I do really appreciate the way he coaches. I like the way he coaches, and he doesn't have to be the one that has to yell that, but I would think somebody would, because we can't have that. Those little mistakes, you know. Coach Carl, don't forget, I was talking to Coach Carl when we were having breakfast, and he just said to me, he's like, hey, I said, why were you always such a stickler on the like the littlest things? You would just, and it would drive guys nuts. He's like, because little things add up to big things, and then they get too big, it's too much of a problem. So you cut them, you get rid of them early. You know what I mean? So anyway, you just look, the false starts, those offsides, that just can't happen, right?
Yeah.
Those are not good plays to have.
Yeah, I think overall there was good energy today. I like to see that.
Yep.
And it's just so funny when we talk about, well, the offense had a pretty good day. At least Trevor looked good. Well, that means that the defense then allowed some passes to be caught. And so I feel like, Trevor was 7 out of 13 in team play. Our friend from Channel 4, Alessandra Pontbriand, tweeted that out. And I'm not going to ever chart that kind of stuff, but I do think that number goes to shoe because of the drops. Like, it wasn't a perfect day, so the defense wasn't horrible. But Liam has to obviously evaluate both sides, and he had to formulate a plan for training camp, and that was his first time doing that too.
And I do think, you saw in all three levels of the defense different pieces being used, and you can tell they're still trying to figure out a lot of that. Linebacker-wise, defensive line, and in the secondary, I saw a lot of different mix and matching happening, which I love right now, because I think that we've talked about it a lot of, okay, does this guy have a chance to battle this guy? And right now what it's telling me is yes.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah, and listen, the offense didn't work the defense at all. I mean, the defense was fine. And again, when you're not in pads, like even with Toot making those cuts and everything, I just thought it looked really natural. He looked really good doing it, but they're not in pads. Somebody could hit him in the backfield, and they didn't go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So, and look, other than maybe one or two throws, Trevor was good. And they either dropped it, there was a bad pass at the line, or, to track it, I get it. You got to do that. Fans do want to see that. It's just, when it's not real, it's not real. You know what I mean? And by the way, 7 of 13 is not that great. 7 of 14 is 50%, so just a little bit over that. So it's not that fantastic. But again, you're not going to get too carried away with that.
Yeah, the reason I bring it up, Tom, is because during OTA's mandatory minicamp, the defense was very vocal, and you heard them get excited about a lot of different plays that they were making. And today, I just didn't get the sense that they felt like they were winning the practice, which is a good thing. It's good for the offense to push back a little bit, and for the offense to feel like they are understanding the scheme and exactly where they need to be. And we found out that Liam Cohen asked Trevor Lawrence to do a quiz as well as the other quarterbacks. He scored 85 out of 100, which is, I think that's good. But that's
I'm
the
surprised
type
you
of
say
stuff.
that. You're an A's only type of a girl.
That is true. But I feel like
B's are good. I lived off C's.
He said there were also a few glitches in the system, so I was giving him a little bit of that. Yeah, no, I would always be very disappointed if I got anything other than an A. Really, honestly, in parts of school, if I got anything other than like 100, I would be upset.
Oh, wow.
But that's when I was younger and things were easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think to me, I got to see some energy out of the offense today, and that was important because I thought through a lot of the offseason practices that the defense, Coach Camp's group, was winning, and I thought it wasn't even close.
Yeah, and very vocal in winning, which is, you could tell in moments. The one OTA that we were talking about, Lauren, where you could see Travis Hunter visually kind of getting a little bit frustrated in moments. It felt because on that day he was on offense, and it felt like because the defense was just dominating that day, and it was very vocal, it was very evident. Granted, there's not pads, so there's a lot of things that when you're talking about the offensive line, especially if they're not able to actually hit and do that side of things, then there's only so much you can actually tell. But that just also shows the competitor that Travis Hunter is, because he was not happy that day leaving.
No, and what you can tell today and when they're not in pads is wide receiver and DBs going at it.
Yeah.
Because that pads or no pads, they're pretty close to going at it full speed. They're not tackling and all that, but I mean the hand-to-hand combat, the defending and that type of thing. So you can see a little bit of that. I thought it was probably, I'd give the offense the nod in that, right? I think they probably completed a little bit more than the defense, but it wasn't like, out of position, getting burnt, not right there. Even when I was talking about Buster earlier, like he was right there. It was just great throw. By the way, those out throws, Trevor threw 2 really nice ones, all outside. And De'Ami Brown made a great one-handed catch. I don't know if you guys saw that on the far sideline. That was pretty sweet. I think that was from Trevor, but it was a great catch anyway. But Trev made a couple good outside throws like that. And the one, like I said, to Travis, I think it was Travis, and Bus was right on him, just right outside. And Travis was the only guy to make, have a chance at that catch. And that's that timing and placement we're talking about. That's what's got to happen more times than not.
And Josh Cephas caught a couple nice passes today,
Cephas had a good day.
Yeah, he did have a good day.
But those were obviously from Nick Mullins, not from Trevor Lawrence.
Yep.
But yeah. So, Tom, the start of training camp, when would you start to feel sore as a player? Like, does it take a few days, or is it the very first day when you're out in that heat and you're playing football again when you've been off for 6 weeks?
You shouldn't be too sore without hitting. You know what I mean? When the pads come on and you're really thumping, you're gonna start feeling that after a while. And that's when the team has to, pull back a little bit and let your body heal a little bit and get you geeked up for the next time, right? That the old school is just beat them down, and then we'll build them back up after a while. I don't think people do that today, and I don't think that really works today. The principle of accountability will always be there, but the delivery is a little bit different. So as far as these guys are in the prime of their athletic career. Unless they're injured, like they pulled something or whatever, they should feel great. Now, again, once you start hitting, in those really challenging hour-and-a-half practices, one a day, you might start feeling it. I don't know, after week 18 when you're done with the season. No, I'm kidding.
I heard somebody behind me say, it's only an hour and a half today. And I was like, yep, Tommy's been talking about that for
every day.
a couple weeks now.
And you know what? Today was really good for me because I did a little reconnaissance, right? I had to figure out when's the perfect time to enter the field, and now I have it.
And when you see the action.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I did expect, since practice started at 8:15, I did expect them to already be on the field around that time and to do their stretching beginning then, but it took another 30 minutes. So they must have been
I think it was 8:30 though, technically.
8:45 was the first
because I showed up at
team drill.
8:45 because it said 8:30 on the thing. So
okay,
I think you were just very early.
No, they sent out a new schedule. It's 8:15 is when practice starts.
Right.
And so I was surprised that they weren't out there for a while. They were in the indoor, and I was like, okay, guys, this is day one.
Yeah.
We've all been waiting for this, and
not Coughlin time anymore.
Well, I think they must have been maybe stretching inside or doing some other warm up stuff. But I was like, okay,
waiting to see something.
Yeah, and when the fans are there too, it's like, all right, they've been waiting months as well. They've been standing out in line since 6 a.m.
They've got chili in their bellies. They're ready.
No doubt.
They're absolutely ready. So we talked about certainly offense. We talked about defense. Liam Cohen also, to your point, Tom, talked about the shape. They have to get in quote unquote football shape.
Yep.
Is that possible even when you're practicing against each other with pads on? Can you get in football shape other than joint practices and preseason?
I mean, again, it's hard to get in shape without conditioning for these long drives. I mean, look, those drives last year, even if you're in shape, 17-play drives will wear your butt out. I mean, it's just really challenging to be at your best, at your peak, to make play after play after play. So, look, I don't think if they say today's the norm, let's just say today's the norm, you're really not going to know till you start the preseason games. And then you're not maybe going to get into real game shape till the regular season. And maybe that's okay. Maybe that's perfect timing. I don't know. I'd want them in shape already. You know what I mean? I would be like, all right, we're in shape. Here's the conditioning test. Most of you better pass it. Those that don't, we'll do extra running, but we're running. I mean, we got it. Because, look, there's two things that are attitude. It's conditioning and then physicality. It's just your attitude, right? And again, it doesn't always have to be for the wind and the muscles. It's just for that grit because everyone hates conditioning. Except the DBs and receivers because they float on air. You know what I mean? The rest of us, we have gravity pulling us to the ground and lactic acid and stuff. They seem to not have that.
You always have a teammate, player, or Taylor that like a player that loves conditioning, I feel like I always hated those people. Like
the conditioners.
The ones that really honestly enjoyed it. It's like the people
So
that,
what are we talking about here?
Those are like the cardio, the just full on
like the
cardio type people.
Yeah, the people that I know that like enjoy running marathons. Like they don't like struggle. Like they actually enjoy running a marathon.
Yeah.
The people who do Ironmans or like
I mean, credit to them.
Sure, but like those types of people, like they annoy you in the moment because it doesn't bother them, and you're, just winded and ready for it to be over.
Yeah, I do think, to your point, Tommy, it's important. If I would also like to see it before week 1 comes, because there's some very crucial battles that you have going on that you need to know going into week 1. And we've talked about several of them, if not all of them, on the show. Some others may pop up during camp that maybe we're a little surprised about. But if you're not in that true, football, ready to play a game shape and mindset, then you really don't know. Like, how do you really know who's winning those battles?
Well, that's a good question. You're going to have to go by the film and on game days, preseason, when you have joint practices. Yeah, that's going to be big and that type of thing. So, look, it's day 1. Maybe tomorrow they do. Maybe day 1 they weren't going to. Whatever. But I think, look, practice is that short, and they are short. And let's be honest, if it's an hour and 45 minutes roughly, they don't get going. They probably have an hour worth of real, drills against each other. You know what I mean? Maybe an hour and 15 minutes, I should say. They're warming up. They're doing their, the individual drills. It's practice, but it's not really, you know what I mean? It's like you're just warming up. You're working on technique. You're working on drill. You're working on drops. You're working on catching the ball, running the ladder. Maybe hitting the sled. It's practice, but it's not like against each other, competing against one another. That's what real practice, in my opinion, is. So, like, you get hour and 15. So out of that hour and 15, you can only do so much. So to me, I'd be running their ass, but that's just me.
Well, and you want to see what goes through their head and the decisions that they make when they're tired. And that certainly does come in the second hour of practices with pads on and things like that in the blazing sun, which early or morning practices is not quite as hot as it would be if it was like 11 to 1 or 11 to 2. But that's what you want to see is what do Trevor Lawrence's mechanics look like when he's been out there for 2 hours already, and he's already having to think through all the play calls and where the protection needs to be and the receivers and all that kind of stuff. Like when his legs are tired, what does that look like then? And then that applies to the other players too.
Yeah, defensively, when you're talking about those 17 play drives, if you're on defense that long and then Trevor throws a pick and 2 throws and you have to get back out there,
or 3 and out.
Yeah, you've got to be ready for those type of things, and you're not if you're not practicing that.
Yeah, let's hope there are not many 3 and outs for the offense, and let's hope there are not many 17 play drives for the defense, because we're going to be in trouble if that's the case.
Yeah.
All right, Taylor Dell has a tangent on the other side. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Florida sunshine and Jack Sports Radio. Summer. Bringing the heat. Summer. Hot summer. Jacksonville's summer station. 1010XL. I think it's gonna be hot summer.
With Lee and Kate's glass, you're gonna see a big difference. For 100 years, service you can trust. Lee and Kate's glass, depend on us. Glass solutions to meet your needs. Reliable quality guaranteed. Complete customer satisfaction. With Lee and Kate's glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey, Jax is more than a city, beaches, suburbs, or a destination. We are a community that truly cares about one another. Hey, this is Tom McManus, former Jaguar. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is dedicated to serving you with respect and integrity. We haul construction debris or property cleanouts for managers, owners, and realtors. We do it all. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We're here for you, and we're veteran-owned and operated. That's right. It's J-Dog, Junk Removal and Hauling.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Introducing the new Dell AI PC, powered by the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps do your busy work for you, so you can fast forward through editing images, designing presentations, generating code, debugging code, summarizing meeting notes, finding files, managing your schedule, responding to Jim's long emails, leaving all the time in the world for the things you actually want to do. No offense, Jim. Get a new Dell AI PC starting at $749.99 at Dell.com/AI-PC. How those ahead stay ahead.
The SEC and the ACC will face off in Jacksonville at the 81st TaxSlayer Gator Bowl game December 27th at 7:30 p.m. Join us for Saturday night football in prime time at the bank. Preferred locations and pricing available now at TaxSlayerGatorBowl.com.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
It's the blog players put their pads on for.
So we won it, we got to bring my thoughts and observations on our home team. That's what I share with you every week on my blog.
Roland Reach Plumbing brings you Hayes Blog on 1010XL.com.
Summertime is busy with graduation parties, summer barbecues, festivities, family gatherings. The month of July, National Carpet Cleaning Month. So Zero Res is offering $45 per room of carpet clean and 20% off air duct cleaning services as well. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResJacksonville.com or call them 287-5727 and ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spelled backwards or forwards, is spelled the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res.
Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey, Googans, Hicken here, and I just want to once again give you this very simple reminder. Wear sunscreen. If you're outside a lot, bring the screen. Put some in your truck, on your boat, in your golf bag, whatever, wherever. Just use it, please. It's hot out there, and I just want you to protect yourself. I use it like it's cool because I think it is. But what's not cool, that's skin cancer. You don't want to deal with that. Go get yourself checked out. It could save your life. Go to beachesdermatology.com and schedule your appointment today. That's beachesdermatology.com.
Okay, for this Cannons of Jacksonville commercial, we need an idea to really come out with a bang.
Like having a guy shot out of a cannon.
Nah, too messy. In fact, Cannons is known for all your towing needs.
So like my car won't start.
No. Towing products. Cannons does custom welding fabrication and installation of trailer hitches, goosenecks, tow bars, truck racks.
So you might say Cannons is my best shot at finding that inventory in stock?
Boom. You said it.
Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Training camp is officially underway as the Jaguars completed their first practice earlier this morning. All eyes are gathered on second overall pick Travis Hunter to see how his practice time on offense and defense is split up approaching week one. Coach Liam Cohen gave a look at the team's plan on how Hunter will ease his way into playing both sides of the ball to start camp.
probably within the first 6 practices or so. Like, we'll probably have them, you want to give them a couple days offense, couple days defense, and then give them an opportunity to go flip-flop within the same practice. And then that will kind of become the norm, right? Like, once we do that, that'll kind of become the norm and how we operate, but it'll probably be within the first week or so.
It's 89 degrees at 2:57. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Should we start singing, RJ?
I had Shania Twain ready, but then I decided not to play.
Shania said, I don't feel like playing right this second. I'm getting prepped for my 2 shows next week, so let somebody else, play on the airwaves. By the way, a couple FSU notes before we get to your tangent, Taylor. Welcome back to our show on this Wednesday afternoon. Florida State quarterback Thomas Castellanos, Thomas McManus's favorite quarterback in all of college football, I say with sarcasm. He met with the media today at ACC kickoff and doubled down on his comments that he made about Alabama and said, I just don't see them stopping me. So I do think that, and then he went on to say, I stand on what I said. There's no disrespect, but that's the confidence that I have in myself and my teammates. So I'm interested to see how obviously that ends up shaking out, but certainly he's not interested in walking back what he said once upon a time. And also our own Rick Ballou tweeted out.
You can't walk it back now.
Well, that
would be even more embarrassing.
Yeah, no kidding.
Rick Ballou tweeted out that FSU will practice in Jacksonville once again at UNF August 7th through 9th. So in just a couple weeks. And so for people like us that are very intrigued as to what FSU will be, going to practices the last couple seasons, 2 seasons ago, very impressed. Last season, walked away not very impressed at all. So I'm very intrigued to go to this practice at UNF.
It's funny because I do remember several people leaving practice last year and conversations with them or within text were like, this is going to be terrible. DJ's not good. And I'm like, oh, it's that bad? It was that bad. It was that bad.
Yeah, he did not look good last year.
Last year?
Yeah,
No, he was awful.
They practiced at the flex field last year.
Yeah.
And yes, that's a compressed area, but
For the record, when BC and Florida State played and I went to that game, both quarterbacks looked about the same.
Yeah.
Just different stature. The Castellanos can run. That's the only thing that was different. DJ, he was just terrible. I mean, just missing people wide open left and right. But hey, man, I don't wish any ill will on the kid. I hope he does fine. I know how he looked at Boston College. I watched enough. I know the rhetoric now is, well, Bill doesn't like mobile guys. It's not true. He just likes guys that make plays from the pocket and with their arm when called upon, and not just utilize their legs. He got benched for a reason. If he was playing well, he would have never gotten benched.
And do you have a relationship with Bill O'Brien?
Oh yeah, me and Bill are pretty close. Yeah, he's great people, man. I've known Bill Bill and one of my linebacker mates went to high school together at Boston College, Mike Panos. So Bill used to come around, and then he started dating one of the Boston College girls, ended up marrying her. And Doug Marone and him married roommates.
Yeah,
and that's how they became friends way back then. So. No, I like Bill. Look, he's tough. He's old school, but he wants stuff done his way and the right way. And he gave Thomas plenty of chances to be that guy. I mean, he was the guy for a while, but then enough was enough and made too many mistakes and wasn't good enough. So they benched him. And then he left, so I don't know how else I'm supposed to think about him other than, a little baby, for lack of better terms, that took his ball and went home because it didn't go his way. But I guess that's part of society today. I mean, that's how things are.
I think any team would have very much disliked how that all shook out at the end. Any team, if your quarterback, number one, isn't playing well and gets benched, you're already frustrated. But then when they walk away and can't even try and compete to try and get their starting job back, transfer, and then talk trash about Alabama, it's probably not the
and transfer within the conference too.
Yeah.
Like that always bothers me. I guess I'm old school in that you used to not be able to transfer within your conference unless the coach allowed you to.
That's right.
And so I feel like you should have to go to another conference. There are plenty of other ones to choose from. Yeah, it's interesting, Tom, that Thomas Castellanos, for some FSU fans, or I guess at this point in time, all FSU fans, he has to be good and he has to kind of be the saving grace to try and get them back to where they were a few years ago with Jordan Travis. And so maybe because of the mobility, they at least have optimism towards that.
Yeah, I don't know. Alabama's got a lot of mobility. And they're massive, and they're going to just shake him down and throw him to the ground. I mean, I don't know what he is, 5'9", 5'8". He doesn't weigh very much. He's very slippery, and he is very quick. So I'll give you that, man. He's shaky. He can make people miss. But I don't know. Alabama, that's like the elite of the elite when it comes from athleticism. We'll see. I mean, he's talking a big game.
5'11", 201.
Is he 5'11"? Yeah. Okay. So he's not small. He's not small. Yeah, so he's probably 5'10". Yeah. You know how that goes, right? I was always 6'3". I was never 6'3". You know what I mean?
People around here, I think, are rooting for him because he is from, just up the road in Ware County, Georgia. And so I understand, like, people around here have ties to that area. Yeah. And look, for some people, Taylor, you might be in this category, like, football, you're a Notre Dame fan, but football is more fun in the state of Florida when Florida State, and Miami, if they can all be good at the same time, right. it adds to the rivalries and it adds to the trash talk and things like that. Sure. But it seems to never really work out that all three end up being dominant at once.
Yeah, I saw a post the other day because there was a Florida player that got arrested.
Yes, Devon Manuel, a backup offensive lineman, was arrested.
And somebody said they must really be back because they're back in trouble too.
Which that doesn't happen very often under Billy Napier. But
they were referencing obviously
correct. Urban Meyer and things like that. Yeah,
Pouncy, all that those years.
Yeah, that's interesting. I never thought of that. Like because Florida State and Miami were number one, number two forever, like back in the 80s and 90s, whatever.
Yeah,
but then Florida came on, and then Florida State, right? Yeah.
I remember like one of them would always be not good, and it'd be like two good, one not good.
Yeah.
And then it feels like a recent stretch, all three kind of were down in the decline.
Miami got the death penalty. Remember that back in like 90 something, and that hurt them. Remember that when they used to lay that down, the death penalty down in college football?
I do remember that. I didn't remember it happening to Miami.
I thought it did happen to Miami back in
But if you Google Miami death penalty, you're not going to find what you're looking for.
The computer might get confused. Which one are you talking about here?
Yeah, this quick Wikipedia search, 2011. That's way later.
No, I thought it was earlier than that, but they suffered. Maybe. No, because we played them in 91. It wasn't then because they were national. They won the title, I think, that year.
The one I remember is SMU from the late 80s. Like, that's where death penalty in the NCAA jargon
and that crushed them.
Started.
They had, obviously, they had the Pony Express, man. Craig James and Eric Dickerson. I remember them in college. They were absolutely insane. It's amazing that Bosworth never got Oklahoma. Sports Illustrated had him sitting on at an oil rig in a white suit on the cover of or the hood of a Corvette. They tell him with a gold chain. Tell me this is not getting improper benefits.
I'm not finding anything, but I'm sure people on the text line.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I'm sorry, Miami fan. I thought something happened to you guys because you guys were on top of the world and then you came crashing down. It was kind of weird.
Sometimes that's bad coaching and bad recruiting and things like that. All right, right now, Taylor Dahl has a tangent.
Now, Taylor's Tangent, served up by Chick-fil-A on 1010XL.
All right, have you guys heard of a guy named Monte Harrison? He played for the Brewers and the Marlins.
Okay.
So he was selected in the second round of the MLB draft, 50th overall in 2014. So by the Brewers, he was selected. So 11 years ago, he was drafted by the Brewers. Played for 10 years in Major League Baseball. He got to the majors with the Marlins in 2020, 2021. And then he got up to the majors during that time and made it into the bigs for a little bit of a stretch with the Brewers and then a little bit of a stretch with the Marlins. But he played in 50 games, getting 12 hits, 2 home runs. Most people, if you remember anything about him, he was part of the Christian Yelich trade when Yelich got sent to the Brewers.
Okay.
So he was in a big part of that trade. Well, now Monte Harrison is a wide receiver for the Arkansas Razorbacks. He's a sophomore, 30 years old.
Oh my God.
Playing wide receiver for Arkansas. He joined the team as a walk-on last year, saw action in a few games last year, just catching 2 passes for 29 yards, had some special teams actions there. But now he's their number 2 ex-wide receiver, turning 30 on August 10th. And he does, because he never played football, the NCAA did grant him up to 3 seasons of eligibility. So he can play up until he's 33 years old in college football.
That's now the guy from Miami, the tight end that played 9 years, he's off the hook. There you go.
But this is his first time in
Yeah.
playing college football.
Man, that's wild.
It's good for him. You get to play 10 years in baseball, and then now you get to go back and get some football. And it's a little strange to me. It's a little strange that there's a 30-year-old on a team and an 18-year-old on the same team, and it's a little odd. And the eligibility stuff I know is kind of strange, and people don't like certain ways that they do it, but it's the NCAA rules. But when I saw that, because I just saw a 30-year-old wide receiver at Arkansas, and I was like, what is going on?
That's wild.
But yeah, so if you want to have a reason to watch Arkansas Razorback football, you can watch Monte Harrison, because he'll be out there catching some passes.
Well, Wenke was like 28, wasn't he, when he won the Heisman?
Yes.
Yeah, that's because he played baseball too, didn't he? Yeah. Wow.
And we'll see guys now get to that 27, 28, and they're still, just because of all of with COVID rules and all of that this year, which we're finally out of that. Thank goodness we're out of the COVID eligibility
that
now.
Just seems weird.
It is. It's strange to me too.
I mean, college is 18 to 22. Why does it got to be 29, 30?
Yes.
Go play in the UFL.
That's what I was thinking.
Go
but
play in the Canadian League.
I just
wonder
wonder,
something.
At 30, are you fast enough when you haven't played football recently?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, if you're gifted, you're gifted. You know, you can run. You can run.
Yeah, I mean, there's NFL players obviously playing until like 40 now, but it is very, it was very interesting.
You got to have a limit on age in
That's
college.
what I think. Yeah,
Come on.
I agree.
I don't know. Even you have some starting quarterbacks who are 25. I mean, 25 compared to 22. My 25-year-old ass would have whooped the heck out of my 22-year-old. I mean, with no problem whatsoever. You're a different person.
Yeah.
You're a grown man. Like that's weird.
Well, that's what now in the NFL, if a guy, they're like, oh, he's old. He's an old player for the NFL, and he's 31. This guy's in college football at 30.
Yeah, no doubt. 31's not old in the pros. I don't think.
Not
Depending how long you play. Now, if you start at age 20, you get there early. That's your 11th year going on. Yeah, that's a lot of years to play.
If you're in year
National
12,
football.
13, then
Yeah,
that's
My
a
friend
long
Megan
time.
went to Miami. She said the scandal was not a full death penalty. It was a lot of violations. It ended with Butch Davis.
Oh,
so that would have been
that's
mid-90s.
right. Good old Butch.
So, yeah.
I met him in Vegas once. 10 a.m. at a poker table. No, but I figured out like that's like the best time to play, or not poker, blackjack, because it's just you normally and the dealer, and you just, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like you have a little advantage there. And then he showed up, and I recognized him, and I said, and Brant Boyer, my friend, was playing for him with the Browns at the time, and I was like, hey, coach, I'm friends with Brant Boyer. He's just like, I'm like, all right, ain't you a? So that was it.
He was in
for
the
him.
zone.
Yeah, I guess 10 a.m. in the morning, working on it. But yeah, so they did. They got penalized really heavy. That hurt them.
Like I said, I
That
just
hurt
always
them.
remember the Southern Methodist one a long time ago.
That was called the death
That was literally in
penalty. Right,
1987
right.
called the death penalty, and their football team was good at one point in time, and then never again. And so that was kind of the precedent that the NCAA set to make sure that everyone else followed the rules.
It came back a little last year.
Yeah.
And then, but it's literally been, 40 years?
Took a while to rebuild from that.
Yeah, it certainly did. Which, by the way, Joe C. caught up with Rhett Lashley, the head coach of SMU, during ACC kickoff. So you can find that at some point on the 1010 social channels. Since we're talking college football, by the way, I told y'all yesterday about the different formats that the SEC and the Big Ten want. The SEC and really the ACC and Big 12 are all in alignment, and then the Big Ten not. Tony Petitti, the commissioner, today again said he wants the 4+4+2+2+1+3. So that to me says, since he has not changed at any point in time, that to me says that we're probably at least we know for 2025 we have 12 teams.
Yeah.
And then it can change starting next year. Yeah. My guess is we're not going to have a change for next year because unless something drastically changes.
So you were saying though that the ACC
and Big
12 are lean on the SEC side, so there wouldn't be a vote where those three can just outvote the Big Ten?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. That's a good question. But then you also have
do independent vote,
and then group of 5.
I would guess independents would vote. They would like the SEC one too, and
yes,
I guess in most
so too. More at large bids.
Yeah.
So I just found it interesting that he did not back down in the words of Tom Petty.
I'll tell you what, I mean, if you're going to give 4 locks, then strength of schedule has to be a big part of the equation. Because you're in the Big Ten and you like Indiana last year, right? Supposedly this year their schedule's not very hard either in comparison.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think you got to look. No disrespect to the Hoosiers and in Bloomington, Indiana. I've got no problem with you, but at the same time, like if you're going to give me a lock in that conference, well, then your strength of schedule better be pretty high.
Yeah,
better be pretty tough. Because if you're beating a bunch of cakewalks and maybe one or two toughies. You know what I'm saying? Like, then you shouldn't get a lock. Maybe you're not. Right. Maybe you at undefeated aren't anywhere near like an SEC team that's 8-3 or 8-4, 9-4, whatever it is.
The problem is they say, well, how do you define strength of schedule? If you're automatically saying the SEC teams have this great strength of schedule, but they're cannibalizing one another, is that really a great strength of schedule? But I'll go through Indiana's schedule since you mentioned it.
Yeah. This year's?
Yep, this year's. They start with Old Dominion, great band, not a great football team. Then Kennesaw State, Indiana State, Illinois, Iowa, Oregon. Okay, so we have a couple good games so far.
That's Big Ten play.
Michigan State, UCLA, Maryland, Penn State, another good game, Wisconsin, and Purdue.
Wisconsin should be good, but Purdue,
it's not
I don't
terrible.
know. Yeah, it's not too bad. What was last year? Do you have that handy? If not, that's okay.
I do.
Last year, I breezed through yesterday, and it was very easy last year.
Western Illinois, UCLA,
I think their hardest was like
Charlotte,
Washington.
Okay.
Maryland, Northwestern, Nebraska, Washington, yes, but Washington wasn't
good. But that's why because of the year before, they in the beginning of the season had that as like a higher strength of schedule.
Right.
Yeah. Then their head coach went to Alabama, Michigan State, Michigan, Ohio State, which is the game they lost, and then Purdue.
Okay.
And then of course they lost to Notre Dame in the college football playoff. But I know that they don't have a way yet to define strength of schedule, but at some point in time, and you can't go off preseason rankings because so much will change.
Yeah.
Right.
But at some point in time, they have to figure out a metric.
Okay. And I'm only asking here. Let's do a little thing here. 4 top teams in the Big Ten, 4 top teams in the SEC. Who are the better 4 teams?
Right now?
Yeah, just the top. Just pick the top. So you obviously got Ohio State and Michigan.
And,
right?
Penn State.
Penn State.
It's probably ahead of Michigan.
You throwing USC in there?
People
Would they
may
be, or
put
Oregon maybe.
Oregon, yeah. People are high on Illinois as well.
Okay.
One of those. I'd say if you were to guess right now, it would probably be. I think some people may even put Penn State right now ahead of Ohio State, but that happens every single year, I feel like.
Right.
But Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan, Oregon, I feel like, without looking at schedules.
Yeah, that's
just
right.
saying,
Just your gut. Like, you know, when you see them and what they did last year and what they've done and what you expect them to do, right? So if you said SEC.
So then you compare
Bama,
Texas, Georgia, LSU.
Bama,
probably Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Florida, maybe, depending on how they do.
Probably
But
not yet in the
You
top
probably wouldn't
4.
have them in there.
Last year, people would have said Ole Miss was in, probably ahead of Alabama. But
So,
I mean, I'm an SEC girl, so I'm always going to lean SEC. I think if you were to take Texas against Ohio State in 2025, I think Texas has the better roster.
I think some people may put a South Carolina up there pretty high. Maybe not in those 4.
And that's
but
the thing. Like, how deep is Big Ten? You know the SEC's deep, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
but that's why I want, like they have in men's basketball, I want, okay, on this Saturday, the second Saturday of every year, we're going to have the SEC Big Ten Challenge in football. And then the next week, you're going to have the ACC SEC Challenge in football. And then the next week, but they can't do that because of conference play, and their conferences determine all the money that they get because of the television contracts. So they're never going to do it my way, but I would love to be like, okay, well, at the end of the season, here's how we determine it. The SEC won or lost against the Big 12 and the ACC and the Big 10, or this conference won the most games, and that's how you determine which conference is the best. And
I like that. And I also wish we didn't schedule like 7 years out the out of conference and the independent games, because you do schedule teams like Notre Dame will schedule like this team, you know, Ohio State, granted that usually like lingers pretty well, but like Michigan and things like this. And then by the time those years come, they suck and people are like, they have an easy schedule. I'm like, they don't, but they scheduled this 7 years before, but it's the same 4 conferences scheduling out of conference. It goes through, and then those out of conference games sometimes look like, oh, they're scheduling nobodies, but in reality, Washington, for example, the year before was a very good football team. They just lost their coach, and a lot of things changed, and half their players.
I mean, 3 years ago, if you're Alabama,
Florida
daunting
State
to have Florida State to start your season, even though you're Alabama and you're never afraid of anyone. But FSU was such a good football team. All right, we've got a giveaway, Taylor.
We do. We have free lunch to Chick-fil-A. Give us a call at 641-1010. Let's say caller number 4, and you get free lunch to Chick-fil-A.
641-1010, call number 4, and you will have free lunch. We'll go around the NFL and also have today's Terminix Pest of the Day for you. On the other side, you are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010X on 92.5 FM.
How can you describe Lauren Brooks?
At 16, she won the gold, turned pro, and was named one of Barbara Walters' most fascinating persons.
Lauren Brooks on Helmets and Heels from noon to 2
You like strong women. I've done my homework.
on 1010XL.
I'm Chris Campione. Veterans have given so much in the service of our country, but when it comes to legal challenges, you shouldn't have to fight alone. At Campione Law, we're here to help veterans like you get the support and compensation you deserve. Whether it's a workplace injury, a personal injury claim, or navigating a veteran's disability claim, we'll stand by your side every step of the way. Your service to our country matters. Let us serve you with the dedication and respect you deserve. Call Campione Law for a free consultation today. Campione Law, fighting for veterans, fighting for justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Hey, Hicken here. Think you got the ugliest garage floor on the First Coast? Your garage a crack-stained hot mess? Hold on to your squeegee. Checkmate Coatings is hunting for the worst garage floor out there. And the winner gets a free garage coating makeover. Whoa! Take 10 seconds. Snap a pic of that garage eyesore. Register at checkmatecoatings.com/contests for a chance to win a free floor coating. It's easy. Just snap a quick pic and enter for a chance to win at checkmatecoatings.com/contest. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I told you before, my daughter Amber is following the lead of Hacker and Mike and Matt and trying to lose a few pounds with Awaken 180. Well, I got to tell you, she's been amazed at the results. Now get this. She's been in the program 3.5 weeks. She's lost 22.5 pounds. 22. It's hard to believe. And she is so excited. There's nothing better than seeing your kid excited. She said it's so convenient. She raves about her coach, who she speaks with once a week. She said the food's terrific, and she's never hungry. Man, she's found a program that really works, and boy, is she excited. If you want to give it a try, call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800, or visit awaken180weightloss.com. It's changing my daughter's life. It really is. And it can change yours as well. 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com. If you're looking for a transformation, now's the time to call Awaken 180.
Duck Duck Rooter. We've seen it all. Whatever's blocking your pipes, we'll get it flowing again. Call 904-862-6769 now to schedule your drain cleaning service. That's 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com.
If you need a game plan for the weekend, I'll tell you my takes for some of the weekend's best options. 1010XL's Dan Hicken here. Watch for Musings with the Media Mogul on YouTube and Facebook. Turned on by Tucker Equipment Rentals in Neptune Beach.
Big Chief Tire is always looking for ways to better serve the Jacksonville community we call home. Lauren Brooks here. Starting Monday, June 16th, they are opening their 6th shop location in Mandarin, providing more Jacksonville residents with a locally owned auto repair business that they can trust. Visit the new shop on San Jose Boulevard today for all your vehicle needs, including brake repair, new tires, and more. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule an appointment today.
If someone you love needs a pick-me-up, then it's time to get serious about it and send them a Kuhn floral arrangement. JJ here with 1010XL. You'll be assured of a quality delivery, that's for sure. Log on and order online at KuhnFlowers.com.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When roaches move into your home or business, you want them out fast. At Terminix, they don't just get rid of the cockroaches, they evict them, and they work to prevent them from coming back. Because no one likes an uninvited pest. When roaches show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a cockroach problem. I certainly don't. Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
Want your son or daughter to enjoy sports year-round? Then log on to I9 Sports with fall and winter registration open right now, including girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows, plus plenty of other spots and sports on the First Coast. I9sports.com. Enter 1010 for a discount.
Blue here for the blue. Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Julington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
It's Christmas in July at Beard's Diamonds with as much as 40% off everything in the store. Maybe it's time to treat yourself to a fabulous fashion ring, necklace, or bracelet. You can do it now and save as much as 40% off Beard's already unbeatable prices. And don't forget, Beard's is the town center's locally owned diamond superstore. Don't settle for the corporate chain store experience when you can get the value, service, and attention you deserve. Don't miss Christmas in July. Save up to 40% exclusively at Beard's Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Shania said it's my turn this time. Okay, everybody. Just a reminder, she will be at Daly's Place next Tuesday and Wednesday evenings. Going to be an absolute blast. Brian and I will be there the first night. Taylor and Tom will be there the second night. Yep. And it's going to be so much fun. If you don't have your tickets, make sure you get them at dailysplace.com. Again, I've never seen her before. This is my first time seeing her in concert.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, I'm very excited too. I mean, what better way to spend my 55th birthday than it's Shania Twain on a Wednesday night, man? Bringing the wife and the girls, and we're gonna have a great time. So
I feel like this is such an important birthday for you because you're at Meathead 55 on social. 55
was my number.
Yeah,
so
55 was your number.
Yeah, this is gonna be
This is kind of your golden year.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But listen, we had a blast in Chicago. That was plenty partying for me. So we'll still have a great time at Shania. The girls are they're like you guys, probably trying to figure out what you're gonna wear.
Oh yeah.
You're a week out. Dad, what are you gonna wear?
I couldn't sleep last night thinking
whatever I pick out that minute.
I mean, like we talked about yesterday, outfits for concerts are important, especially country concerts.
Well, especially you also have to plan around heat. Yeah. When it's the outside ones here, which factors in.
That's right.
I will say I don't wear cowboy boots if it's an outdoor concert this time of year.
Yeah,
I won't.
It's so hot.
Not that I'm this serious country girl anyway, other than I love country music. It's not like I have a farm that I go back to after I leave 1010XL. But
do you wear socks with cowboy boots?
I do, yes.
Do people normally wear?
I think so. I think even if it's like thin
after a
sock.
while.
Oh yeah. You want to protect them because some of them, some cowboy boots are very expensive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
mine were not. Like Luke Casey's, they talk about that in a lot of country songs. That's a brand.
Yeah.
Like $1,000 for a pair of those.
Yeah, my brother got his groomsmen. That was like his present to all of them, and they were very expensive cowboy boots. But they all got some real nice boots for that was the gift for my brother's wedding. But I remember being like, that's a lot of money. That some of them don't wear the boots regularly. But that's okay.
How often do you wear them? Right, you get the ones
you get good ones. You get the ones from Amazon.
Exactly. But yeah, I'll just wear usually like some sort of shoes.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you're wearing shoes.
Well, closed-toed shoes, not flip-flops, even though, All right, time now for today's Terminix Pest of the Day. As always, brought to you by our friends at Terminix. They came out to our house on Monday. They do such a great job. They make sure that we have no wasps' nests. They take care of all the mosquitoes in the front yard and the backyard. They refill equipment, so we are mosquito-free or as close to it as we can be all summer long. You can find them online at Terminix.com. That's TERMINIX.com. And yes, they take care of Everbank Stadium, ViStar Ballpark, ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, and all of your favorite event venues around town because they do such a great job. Also, if you have any termite issues, make sure you contact my friends at Terminix. All right, this one, I'm sure he's been the pest of the day before, but Tyreek Hill, who months ago said, I'm out when it came to Miami and playing for the Dolphins.
Yep.
And so now that sentence caused such consternation amongst other Dolphins players that today Tua Tagovailoa, in meeting with the media after training camp practice, said it is a work in progress with Tyreek Hill. When you say something like that, you don't just come back with "my bad." You got to work on that relationship. He is working on himself.
All right.
I don't know if Tyreek Hill in that moment thought about how much pain he would cause, or at least pause that he would cause the other teammates. You're the leader of maybe not leader of the team, that's probably Tua, but you're one of the best players in all of the NFL. You're definitely the wide receiver leader and probably one of the biggest leaders on the offense. When you say something like, I'm out, that makes waves, I should say, for other people that are still in that organization. And they do, I think, feel a little bit of hurt from that.
Yeah, he also, like a month or two ago, was asked who the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL were, and he didn't list his quarterback.
Also
so I'm
true.
sure that hurts Tua's feelings a little bit, too.
Yeah.
Granted, he's not wrong. I wouldn't put Tua in my top 5 quarterbacks either, but
if he was your quarterback,
yes,
you would?
Yeah, if it was my best friend, I would say, like go for it. But I'm sure that's just kind of Tyreek's personality, and he's kind of the love me some me type of stuff, which some players in the league are like that, and it's kind of hard to shift that. But good for Tua for that response, honestly, because some quarterbacks would have been like, nah, it's fine, like we're all good, when in reality they're probably not.
Well, I mean, communication can fix it. Touchdowns can fix it, too. Start scoring touchdowns, too. Will be like, yeah, no, we love him back. We're so happy he's back. I could care less what he said before. But, yeah, listen, I mean, that's where you got to pause if you're Tyreek Hill. And even though you may want to say something, you just got to not say it, right? Because you never know what can happen. You may think of this inflated value of yourself, ego of yourself, where, hey, man, if I'm not in Miami, I can go anywhere. Who doesn't want Tyreek Hill? Well, it doesn't seem like that was, a plethora of options for him out there. So now what? Well, I got to go back to Miami.
Yeah.
I'd be making fun of him. Like, oh, you're back. Oh, I thought you were out, Tyreek. Now you're back. What's going on? But we all know, listen, man, in that locker room, if you can play ball, and then character matters, but if you can play ball, you're helping us win. We'll welcome you back.
Yeah,
we'll welcome you back.
Miami's they've had the not best offseason so far when it comes to some of the drama with obviously Tyreek. Today they had a player life lifted from practice. Their offensive lineman, Bayron Matos, I'm not sure who. And then Artie Burns injured himself. They think it's ACL. Jalen just got traded away. And so there's a lot of things going on with the Miami Dolphins right now. And that's when you have to see how strong everything else, that foundation is, because it could crumble very quickly.
Is Tyreek healthy? Is he healthy now?
I think so.
Okay. I mean, he's still really explosive.
Yeah.
I'd want him on my team.
Yeah.
I mean, look, like Antonio Brown, he's cuckoo, right?
Very.
But he scores touchdowns.
Way crazier
so
than Tyreek.
you figure, we had Andre Rison. I loved him. I thought he was funny as heck, but, he would go rogue in games, and then finally got him traded. They couldn't take it anymore. That's when Jimmy Smith emerged. Now, he wasn't a problem at all. I mean, he got up in a team meeting the night before the Patriots game one year and spoke his mind. That was very interesting. And it was funny when he was done, Coach Coughlin just said, "Thank you, Andre." Now on 3rd and 2, when the team
Andre Rison. I was thinking Jimmy Smith, and I was like, okay, good.
No, Andre Rison. It was funny. Me and Mitch are sitting in the row in front of Jimmy, Keenan, and Andre. And Andre's sitting, like, we used to be able to leave, go do whatever, and come back for the team meeting. So you'd go out to eat or whatever. And Andre, he might have, gone out or whatever, had a few things going on. And he was in this beautiful 3-piece suit with his, like, he had a long day, the tie was down a little bit. And he kept going to Jimmy Keenan. He's like, me and Mitch are like right in front of them. And we're just like giggling, like, this is unbelievable. And he kept going, if he says, I swear, he's talking about Coughlin. If he says something, I'm going to go off. And they're going, don't do it, Trey. Don't do it, Trey. And he's like, I swear, if he says something. 2 minutes in, he's like, Coach, I got something to say. And he got up there, and I can't tell you what he said because it was profanity laced. But I thought it was beautiful. It was, and then right after, Calvin's like, yeah, well, threw down to 2, whatever. Then they cut him like 3 weeks later or something like that.
That was before those meals were served in the cafeteria at the Miller Electric Center. Now the players never have to leave because there's
keep them under wraps.
Yeah, there's meals
under
everywhere.
my thumb.
It's just so frustrating with Tyreek Hill, like the Jags-Dolphins game to start last year. He gets arrested and they still win the football game.
Yeah. That was an interesting moment down there. Not a good look for anybody involved. The police included.
Until just now.
I did. I kind of
feels
forget
so long
what
ago.
happened.
We had Scotty Scheffler get arrested last year. Tyreek Hill get arrested last year.
Yeah, that's
all sorts of wild stuff. But yeah,
very different personalities there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Today's Pest of the Day, just anytime someone's a narcissist and they don't think about others, and that does create ripple effects for other people, that's going to be the pest. All right, we've got one segment to go on the other side. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010X on 92.5 FM.
We got a great show for you today.
Join the 1010XL Podcast Network.
A big show.
Now you can find all your favorite 1010XL podcasts in your platform of choice.
A king-size show.
Your doctor says your testosterone is normal. Normal for who? Beta males? That's where those lab ranges come from. Male Excel uses optimal levels, where you were at 25, not where outdated mainstream medicine thinks you should be. Our protocol is different. Daily dosing, multiple hormones, personalized to your body, not some insurance company's spreadsheet. This is precision medicine, not sick care. Try MaleExcel.com, free test. Stop being normal. Start being optimal.
Lauren Brooks here. I met with the team at Closets by Design yesterday, and their building is just beautiful. I cannot wait for them to bring their organizational expertise to our closets and our laundry room. That's right, not just closets, garages, entertainment centers, home offices, pantries, and more. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off during the month of July. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Jax is more than a city, beaches, suburbs, or a destination. We're a community that takes care of each other. I'm former Jaguar Tom McManus. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is dedicated to serving you with respect and integrity. From estate cleanouts to furniture and appliance removal, we handle it all. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We're here for you. We're veteran-owned and operated. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
At JEA, we're committed to keeping our community storm ready all year long. We continue to invest in our electric, water, and wastewater systems to make them more storm resistant. Our crews trim trees to help keep power lines clear from falling debris. Plus, our outage map and My JEA app make it easier than ever to report and track outages. Whatever storm season brings, we're ready to respond, restore, and keep you informed every step of the way. Learn more about our efforts and how you can prepare at jea.com/storm.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On July 23rd, 1976, the Steelers defeated the College All-Stars in the storm-shortened Chicago Charities College All-Star Game, which would be the last of the series.
Hey, it's Joe C. Summer in Jacksonville means the sun is hot, the grills are fired up, and your water heater probably full of sludge.
Nah, not mine.
Think, when was the last time you flushed your water heater out? It's okay, you can say it.
Probably never.
Flushing a water heater each year improves its efficiency and extends its lifespan.
They sure don't make them like they used to.
So call Roland Reese Plumbing for a routine water heater flush out and any other plumbing needs. 260-7059 or at plumberinjacks.com. Roland Reese Plumbing.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Who says there's no free lunch? Join me, Prosser, and Jaguar and Gator legend Fred Taylor for free food and football talk Friday, August 8th at the Alhambra Theater. When you hear this...
Bye-bye! Brock Marion still chasing a 90-yard run.
Be caller 28 to win a pair of tickets to a free lunch with Fred. Doors open at 11. Jags talk, Gators talk, football talk, including a 1-hour Q&A with Freddie T, and we're buying your lunch. Stay tuned for this sound to win your tickets.
Bye-bye! Brock Marion still chasing a 90-yard run.
Courtesy of Jenkins Hyundai and Genesis of Jacksonville on Atlantic.
Are you living with diabetic neuropathy? That pain and numbness in your hands or feet? What about chronic knee or shoulder pain? Maybe you've tried various treatments, but they've been ineffective. Now there's a solution. Dr. Ferdinand Formoso specializes in advanced pain management and offers breakthrough neuromodulation treatments for those conditions. His innovative treatments target the source of your pain, offering relief where medications may fall short. All procedures are performed outpatient with no hospitalization required. Just a chance for you to feel and live better. If you want to learn more, Dr. Formoso is hosting free informational classes where he'll explain the benefits of neuromodulation therapies and how they can help eliminate your pain. Spaces are limited, so call to reserve your spot now with offices on the South Side, West Side, and Jacksonville Beach. Relief is possible with Formoso spine and joint pain specialists.
You've got a lot on your plate. The last thing you need is car trouble. At Maxie's Mechanics, we help you keep your cars, trucks, and SUVs running safely. Visit MaxieAutoRepair.com today for honest service, reliable repairs, and peace of mind for you and your family.
Storms are part of every season. Make sure you're protected. Call American Electrical to make sure you have the best in surge protection. Don't lose your home electronics to a lightning strike. Call 737-7770 for American Electrical.
Power bill just went up again? Why keep paying more? Clay Solar can wipe that electric bill out. Right now, they'll cover your first 6 months' payments. Visit claysolar.com today to schedule your free consultation. claysolar.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
I'm going to cool down with a very cool event tonight. Hops That Help at Southern Swells. It's the 10th annual. They raise money for the Tom Coughlin J Fund. As we all know, the Tom Coughlin J Fund does such a magnificent job in our community supporting those who have to fight pediatric cancer, and looking forward to it. I've never been able to attend until tonight. It's usually on a Monday night.
Yeah.
This is the first time on a Wednesday night, and we will be there. I cannot wait.
Yeah, it's a great event, and hats off to Steve Nicks for being the brainchild and doing it. And his daughter Cameron will be performing. She's a fantastic singer and a guitar player, and Coach Coughlin's supposed to be there tonight, so that should be fun. Looking forward to seeing Coach. But, yeah, of course, the J Fund is helping people all around here in Northeast Florida, you know, families that are dealing with pediatric cancer, and they help them in so many ways. You know, look, we need the research. We do. But what the J Fund does is they help the families out with payments, electricity, car payments, food, whatever it takes, emotional support as well. So I'll go to every J Fund as long as I'm alive because, you know, Jay was a great kid. He started as strong safety for us back at Boston College. It was crazy. He got diagnosed like in end of November of '91. Had a lump in his armpit. It was after the Syracuse game. We were going to play Miami the next week, and he was our starter. And everyone's like, "Oh, he's sick. He doesn't feel good." Next thing you know, he's leukemia. And then 6 months later, he was gone. It was tough, man. He was 21 years old. But Coach saw what it did to the family. Like he would watch and see, and And then Mike Panos, my good friend I mentioned earlier, was friends with Billy O'Brien. He's like, Coach, we got to do something. They need help. And it started with a lift-a-thon. We raised some money, and then Coach turned it into the J Fund, man. It's just fantastic. So, yeah, Hops It Helps is fun. It's a lot of good food, a lot of good beers, of course, a lot of auction items. It starts at 6, goes to about 9:30.
Mm-hmm.
Auction ends at 8:30.
Auction items.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's an
Wow.
awesome time. So come on out, Jack's Beach. Southern Swells, really cool place, too. Really,
It is.
really cool spot.
Where is Southern Swells?
Beach Boulevard, kind of where Bailey's and that,
Oh, okay.
and that Bailey's is still there, aren't they?
It's
Did
Choose
they move?
Fitness now. They didn't move.
Oh,
they sold.
changed. They
Gotcha.
sold.
So, yeah,
That's right. That's right. Yeah, it's in that same.
Yeah, so just past Penman, just
Yeah.
east of Penman.
That's right.
On the right-hand side, so the southern side.
South side, yep,
Yeah, of
yep.
Beach Boulevard.
Yep.
And yeah, like I said, we have never been before, but I knew when I saw live music from not just Cam Nix, but there's another guy that's
Yeah,
singing.
that's right. That's right.
That gets me there. And then, of course,
Plus
to your
J-Funk,
point,
yes.
yeah, plus everything that they do is
Plus, it's beers,
fantastic.
Yeah.
so it's good. Hops, that help.
Hops that help. That's what we're here to do. I know the event, like I said, this is the 10th annual. The last 9 years combined has raised over $100,000.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's fantastic.
yeah, so get on out there tonight and have a good time. And of course, the hops always help.
That's right.
Hops
More
do
ways
help.
than one. More ways than one.
absolutely. All right, now let's get to a couple more comments from Trevor Lawrence post-practice today. The Jaguars' first training camp practice is in the books. He joined the podcast recently, Pardon My Take, and he asked what he meant when Trevor said, it's go time this year.
It's obviously the preparation and the work you put in the off season and the stuff that's already been done. Now that we're at camp, it's not really necessarily the time to flip a switch. It's kind of been on since really post-surgery, recovery, trying to get back healthy and learning the new system. All that stuff is put a lot of time in this off season into making sure I'm ready to go this season. And I say that too because I have a lot of confidence in what we're doing here and the system, the staff, the new players we brought in, the guys that have already been here, like the culture, everything we're building here. I really have a lot of confidence and belief in what we're doing and that we're doing it the right way. And I think that, frees me up in a lot of ways and kind of allows me to say that and feel confident about it.
He mentioned the culture there, Tom. We talked about this the other day.
Yeah.
You said the culture was clearly bad and it had nothing to do with coaching. It's the players that aren't holding themselves accountable, and certainly they're not executing on the field either.
Yeah, listen, I've said this many a time. So the most successful teams have a GM that fills that locker room with players that are going to, respond positively to the coach's philosophy. So you got to have the players in the locker room that are going to hold each other accountable per the accountability that the coach is handing down.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important. I mean, look, I'll tell you, an old linebacker coach used to tell me, don't brother-in-law each other. Don't like Don't be like, if they make a bad play, be like, hey, it's okay, get them. Don't do that. Like if someone's leaving early, pull them back in and be like, man, what are you leaving for? Let's go watch some film. Don't brother-in-law each other. This is serious business, and let's hold each other accountable. And that's all it is. And when you can do that in a locker room, you got a good chance of winning.
Yeah, and I think the other side of that is being a type of person who can accept that too, because some people's egos are too big to listen to somebody saying you're not doing the job right or this isn't good enough. And you've seen that. You've seen that in the past here in Jacksonville and all around the league, the ones that just when you talk about taking the accountability and saying, you're right, I need to fix this. And it does feel like Trevor's definitely doing that right now. Trevor's very openly admitted that he hasn't played to the standard that a lot of, he himself even wants to play to. And obviously when he's mentioned the mechanics and everything that needs to change, he knows exactly why. And he's accepting all of that. So that's step one to hopefully fixing the largest issue.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think that comes from, the type of players that they have. And then it does come from the new regime, right? They're going to hold them accountable. And you got to have it from the top all the way through in order for that team to be disciplined. Think of how undisciplined the team was last year. Just think of it all year long. It wasn't one game. It wasn't first quarter, of the season. It wasn't like it was the entire year. They made same mistakes all the time, which means they're undisciplined, which means what? They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And look, regardless of what the coach is doing, you got to have the right guys inside that locker room that says, hey, man, we're the ones that got to do it. We got to go study that film. We got to know everything. We can't keep making mistakes. We're killing ourselves. Like that internal accountability is huge for building a winning team.
Well, it's interesting because Liam Cohen is the one that sets the tone for everything, and he's never been in this role before.
Okay.
So he has to understand that it's not just him with the offense. He has to set the tone with the offense, the defense, and special teams now.
For sure. Well, all I was going to interject was Gladstone says what? They got to love football.
Mm-hmm.
What does Liam Cohen say? They got to love football. So that's what I'm talking about. So it's got to be somebody that's ultra dedicated to the game of football, right? And then we're going to match that character and work ethic and everything else with this coach who, and you see how Liam is. He's not slamming the hammer down, but he's all involved. He's very energetic. He's teaching the whole time. He's going up to guys high five, and he's getting excited when things go well. You know what I mean? So you got to have the right players that like that. You know what I mean? I'll go back to Coughlin. When Coughlin would bang on the table or call you out, you get mad. That's just the way you're built. You're like, all right, well, I'm going to prove you wrong.
Sure.
And he knew it because that's the kind of players that he brought in. He wanted those kind of players. And I'm not defending Doug Peterson here, but Doug Peterson was not that way. He was a players coach, which means what? My players are going to police themselves. My players inside that locker room are going to get it done. I'm going to give them the parameters, but I'm not going to look over their shoulder. They're grown men. They're professionals. It works either any way you want it to work as long as you have what? The players in that locker room that respond positively to that way of coaching.
And if you have a bunch of elite players, then they do need to respond to the coaching, but the culture is not as important there.
Let me
you can trot them out.
I've and you guys probably have too. Through Coach Campbell, we interviewed a couple Dallas Cowboys that were on those 3 Super Bowl winning teams. And I asked one of the guys, he was a defensive back, can't remember his name. He wasn't a superstar, but he played along. No, he was. Brown was his last name. He was a very good player, Larry Brown. And I asked him, I said, man, with all those superstars, man, how did you guys keep it together? He said, we held each other accountable. I mean, Michael, Emmett, Troy, Charles Haley, Dion, when he fought. We were great. We knew we were great. But we also, when we went out to practice, we held each other accountable. Inside the locker room, held each other accountable. If we weren't keeping up our end of the bargain, somebody was in our face saying, man, you got to step it up and get it done. And that's what it takes. That's what I'm talking about, that internal accountability.
Hopefully they have a bunch of those guys.
Yeah. Did you see the comments that Baker Mayfield had on part of my take on Liam Cohen?
Yeah.
Yes.
With if you did not
cool.
listen, he's like, stop trying to be cool, because they asked, like, did you talk to him since that Duval thing? And he was like, yeah, I just told him to stop trying to be cool and just be a coach. Yeah. And I'm sure, like, they obviously have a good relationship, because Baker said even back in February after the hiring, they talked and whatever. It was that type of situation. But he went on to say later, he's a very good coordinator. We'll see if that transfers to the head coaching side of things. And he was like, we'll see. So I do think that there's, even in that relationship Baker Mayfield has with Liam Cohen, he trusted him as that coordinator and being able to coach and develop the quarterback. And even him, there's some hesitations, and I think you always will have those when somebody's going from coordinator to head coach. But clearly there's a relationship there. And if you still have a relationship after the way things went, that shows what type of guy Liam Cohen is, too.
Yeah, and look, and he's right. He's a great coordinator, and we'll see.
Yeah.
And not every, some people are just great coordinators.
Yeah.
Some coordinators, they're moving up the ladder. They're great head coaches. We all hope he's a great head coach who also is going to call a hell of an offense, through Grant Udinski.
Gus Bradley was a great coordinator. Maybe not.
Great example. He's one of the top coordinators throughout time. Del Rio was a better coach, in my opinion, head coach, but he's a phenomenal defensive coordinator.
Definitely.
So, it depends. You're going from, like you said, one unit to now
Everything.
So president of a division of a major corporation to the CEO, the CEO of everything. You know what I mean? That's a big difference of a job.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. All right, one more here from Trevor Lawrence. He was asked about Brian Thomas Jr.
He's great. Just, obviously he's kind of that like silent assassin. He's just goes to work. That's one thing I love about him. He's not a big ego, look at me guy. He just goes and puts the work in and makes plays, and just his speed, his one-on-one ability, it's really impressive. And to have him on the outside, that matchup, if they ever want to go one-on-one, we feel like that's a favorable matchup for us, and we're going to win most of them. And then to add the pieces that we've added only helps that, because now you just have so much speed, so much talent everywhere, and there's a lot of mismatches, so you can't tilt something one way just for BT, or then you got some other issues. So it helps a lot, and I just like the way he approaches his work every day, honestly, just the way he carries himself.
Well,
I think we
speaking of-
need Silent Assassin shirts being made right now.
I like that idea. Well, speaking of silent assassins.
Now, the 2-minute drill on 1010XL.
Okay,
We're
maybe
not
less,
so silent assassin.
Maybe less silent, but he's called the Hammer for a reason.
Yeah. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you once again today. Time number 2.
That's right. We're one down, probably about 190 more to go. So, but yeah, it's a good first day. Everybody got out of there healthy, which is good, and got some momentum going. So we'll see how they look tomorrow.
Anybody impress you off the bat? I know.
I was a little surprised by just the prominence of Abdullah and Lacey, I would say, surprised me a little
Out
bit.
there early, yeah.
Because those are guys that I've sort of given up on.
I know, same.
And so
same.
I was like, okay, well, maybe, and we'll see. I mean, that could all change tomorrow. But I'm curious if, maybe did the coaches see something over the summer when they went back over OTAs and things like that. So, yeah, I thought that was interesting. And everything else I thought was pretty standard. Nothing. But I will say this. I thought it was pretty crisp, for day one operationally, not a ton of errors. And, you saw the ball on the ground a little bit. But, I mean, I think for first day, that's kind of to be expected. So, yeah, I mean, solid start. And, we'll see if they can stack another one up tomorrow.
Yeah, we did wonder if it was maybe vet rest or something like that already for Eric Armstead, because it seemed like he wasn't
just hanging out.
Yeah,
as involved as I would have expected. But it seems like vet rest would be early on day one.
That's the thing. Like maybe he's, I don't know, got a cold or, it could be something. I mean, it's always hard on one day. Like now, once we get to like Sunday, then we'll have enough data that you can start kind of, making some judgments. But yeah, I thought, interesting some of the rotations and things like that. And obviously we got a little bit of, it was good to at least see Mason Smith working and doing a variety of different conditioning things. So, when that came out yesterday, it was like, oh boy, is this going to be something, that jeopardizes week one? Doesn't sound like that at this point if he doesn't have like a setback or anything. So, yeah, so lots to get to coming up on the Frangie Show. We'll break all that down. I had a chance to catch up with Brian Thomas Jr.
Nice.
After practice. Yeah, so we'll play that.
The silent assassin.
That's right, the man himself. And Bucky Brooks will join us at 5 o'clock.
Perfect. Thanks, Ace.
Thank you.
I do feel like as media, we cannot wait for training camp to start. And then the first day, we're like, now I can't wait for the pads to start.
Yeah.
And then the pads will be
Then we're
here.
like, okay,
Now I
preseason.
can't
Then we're
wait
like, okay, game time. Let's go.
Exactly. And then week one, we're like, wait, we can't over-evaluate and overanalyze, all that stuff. All right, that'll do it for us today. No show tomorrow because of Jaguars programming. So these heels will talk to you on Friday. But for Taylor Dahl, for Tom McManus, for RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks. Don't go anywhere. The Frangie Show is next.